This tutorial is for the Knitting Whimsy Christmas Confetti Stockings. They make a really fun, chunky knit and great Christmas decorations and gifts. You can see here they're a nice squishy texture. They can be knit with the slip stitches in the back, like this one, or slip stitches in the front, which brings a little more color in. You can make one or both for coordinated stockings. Here's a close-up of the texture. To get started, you'll need the Knitting Whimsy Christmas Confetti Stocking pattern, which is on Ravelry, size 13 16-inch circular knitting needles, 2 skeins of bulky yarn for your base color. I'm using this fabulous Malabriga Rasta. You'll also need 1 skein of a fun color for the main part of the stocking. I use this great yarn from Pearl Soho. Another great choice would be this spin cycle yarn from Farmer's Daughters. Anything that has like a barber pole fun coloring in it will be great. You'll also need a measuring tape, a darning needle, some stitch markers, 2 in one color, 1 in another, some scissors, and this needle felting tool is not necessary, but is an amazing tool to prevent you from having to weave in your ends. I strongly recommend one of those. This is the stocking we're making. We'll be starting with the cuff, and you can add whatever embellishments you like. I added some fringe and tassels. Then we'll move on to the leg. This one has the slip stitches in the back. Then the heel. This is the trickiest part. Then the foot, very similar to the leg, and finally the toe. Okay, let's start the cuff. We're going to start the cuff with the long tail cast on. We're casting on 36 stitches, and I like to use this long tail cast on method. If you're not familiar with it, you might want to check out my Knitting Whimsy long tail cast on tutorial, but I'll show a few times here in some kind of slow motion how to do the long tail cast on. It looks a little tricky at first, but as you get going, you realize there's really just kind of a nice rhythm to it, and it's super easy. We're going to start by casting on 37 stitches, which is 1 extra than what we need for our knitting in the round for the cuff. Once you have your 37 stitches on, put them in a circle and line them all up nice with your working yarn in the back. Knit into the first stitch that you cast on. And now to make an extra secure join, we're going to cast off that last stitch. Now we have 36 stitches, and we're going to put our stitch marker, and we're ready to start knitting in the round. I'm starting with a knit one, purl one, and I'm doing this all the way around. Now I'm at the end of my first round. Just going to move my stitch marker and start on my second round. Same thing, just knit and purl. So I can follow my pattern like that, or I can read my knitting. Here's a knit stitch. It's a V, so I'm going to knit on top of that. Here's a purl stitch. I can see the purl bump, so I'm going to purl on top of that. Knit on top of the knits, and purl on top of the purls. The purls show up with the bump across, and the knits show up as a V. And that's what we're just going to do for the entire length of the cuff. My cuff is about 8 inches long and 22-ish rounds. And now I'm ready to do one last thing. I'm going to, on the last round, knit into the front of that stitch and knit into the back of it as well. It's a knit front back. And I've taken that very last stitch on the round and turned it into 2 stitches. So I've added a stitch to our round. Now you get to make a choice. Do you want to make like option number 1 with the slipped stitches in the back, or do you want to make leg option number 2 with the slip stitches in the front? Both are great. I'm going to start by showing you leg option number 1 here. So after you've done your last stitch of knit front back, grab your colored yarn, loop it around that back needle and pull it through that first stitch. That's your knit 1. Now make sure you grab the working end of the yarn and not the tail, slip your next stitch and knit into the next one. You're just going to keep doing this all the way around. Slip a stitch, knit a stitch, slip and knit all the way around. Make sure you're slipping needle to needle like I am here. Don't slip a stitch by going in as if to knit. That'll make it look a little different. Now I'm approaching the end of my round. I'm going to knit one, slip one, and knit the last stitch. Now I'm dropping my colored yarn and picking up my cream yarn. Now I'm going to bring it to the front and just do a round of purling all the way across. And this is basically what you're going to continue for the entire leg of the stocking. You're going to alternate between a round with the colored and a round with the cream. And on your colored round, rounds number 1 and 3, you just alternate between starting with a knit stitch and starting with a slip stitch so that your knit and slip stitches are staggered. So here I'm dropping my cream yarn, picking up my colored yarn. I can see that I started my last round with a knit stitch, so now I'm going to slip this one and knit the next one. You can follow the order of rounds 1 and 3, or you can read your knitting. Right now I can see I'm about to come up on a stitch where there's no colored beneath it. The slip is behind me, so I know I need to knit into it. Now my next stitch has the color in front, so I know it was knit, and I'm going to slip my yarn behind it and knit into the next stitch. It's really helpful if you start reading your knitting, and that will help you from getting off track as you're going around. And it's really pretty easy with this pattern. I'm sure by the time you get to the end of a couple of rounds, you will definitely be reading your knitting and not need to be tracking round 1, 2, 3, or 4. When you get to the end of the round, drop the colored yarn and pick up your cream yarn. Now we're just going to purl all the way around. Now you just repeat these 4 rounds for the length of your leg. Rounds 2 and 4 are just purl with the cream yarn, just purling all the way around. And you can tell you're on around 2 or 4 because you can see the colored stitches on your needle, so every other one. And then rounds 1 and 3 are either knit 1, slip 1 all the way around, or slip 1, knit 1 all the way around with the colored yarn. And pretty soon you'll see it accumulates to this nice pattern of offset, slipped, and knit stitches. Okay, now we're going to talk about leg option number 2, which is written up in the pattern completely separately just to avoid confusion, but it's very similar. It just has the slip stitches in the front instead of in the back. And it is the rounds 1 and 3 with the colored yarn are purl 1, slip 1s, and slip 1, purl 1s instead of knit 1, slip 1s. And then rounds 2 and 4 are knitting around instead of purling around. Okay, so to get started, we're going to slip into this first stitch as if to purl and attach our colored yarn by just looping it around there in the front and pushing it through. That's our first purl stitch. Now we're going to be keeping the yarn in front, which will cause all of our slip stitches to be in the front. So we've got our round 1 of purl 1, And now we're going to slip one. And we'll just continue this pattern all the way around to complete round 1 of purl 1, slip 1s. Here I am a little further down my stocking, doing a round 1, which is purl 1. I can see that it's a purl 1 because I can see that slip stitch going across below here. So I know that I'm going to purl 1 into this. And then here I can see the stitch below was purled, so I know I'm going to slip this stitch and purl the next. And you'll just continue on with your purl 1, slip 1s for round 1s, and then round 3s will always start with slip 1, purl 1s. Now on leg option number 2, round 2 and 4 are always just knit around with the cream yarn. So I've dropped my colored yarn and I'm just knitting around with the cream yarn. So really almost exactly the same as leg option number 1. It's just that rounds 1 and 3 consist of purl 1, slip 1s instead of knit 1, slip 1s, and rounds 2 and 4 are knit rounds instead of purl rounds. Here's a round 3, which started with a slip 1, purl 1, and now is just continuing. Slip 1, purl 1. And now I'm back to dropping the colored yarn and picking up the cream yarn for round 4, which is knit all the way around. Both options end with a round 4, which is purl around for option number 1 and knit around for option number 2. And you just want to do this until you have 10 inches of your leg done. I have a little more to go here, but I'll meet you back when I'm finished with the leg and ready to start on the heel. Okay, we're ready to start the heel. The heel is probably the trickiest part of the stocking. We're going to walk through it step by step. Here you can see the heel is the cream. It's a flat piece of knitting, starting with several rows of just simple knitting, then some decreases here. Then we're going to add the short rows, which is what gives the heel the little puff of a heel shape right here. You can see how this isn't just flat, it has some actual shape to it. That's the short rows. And then we're going to attach the heel to the stocking, and this is the gusset. Okay, let's get started. So the first thing we're going to do is continue 9 stitches of the same pattern you've been working on with your colored yarn. So here I'm doing purl 1, slip 1s because I'm doing leg option number 2 here. If you're doing leg option number 1, you'll just do 9 alternating knit 1, slip 1 stitches. And then I'm just going to slip those stitches back onto my left needle. This is simply to get the colored yarn into the position we're going to want it for picking up after the heel work. Now you can see my yarn is over here. I'm going to get back to that when I'm done with my heel flap. Now I'm picking up my cream yarn and I am just going to knit 9 stitches. This is what we're calling our first half row. So I've knit my 9 stitches and I'm turning my work. Now I've slipped one and I'm purling 8 stitches. We're always going to be slipping that first stitch on every row from here on down, and that's just to make the outer edges of our heel flap really nice. So I purled the 8 stitches, I've slipped my marker, and I'm going to purl 9 more stitches. So I will have 18 stitches on my needles. Now, counting them up here, and gonna continue on. And then when I've got my 18 stitches, I'm turning my work and I'm ready for row number 2. I'm slipping the first stitch with the yarn in back and then doing knit one, slip one, all the way across. Here I am at my marker, and just continuing with my knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, and I'm ending with a knit one. And now I'm ready for row number 3. Slip the first stitch with the yarn in front and purl across. The heel can get a little tricky and easy to lose track of, so I recommend you keep your pattern nearby so as you complete a row, you can just check off what you finished. Slip my marker, purl the next 9 stitches. Now I'm on row number 4, which starts with a slip one with the yarn in back, then slip one, knit one. We're going to do this all the way across until we get to the last 3 stitches. When we get to the last 3 stitches, we're going to slip one, knit one, knit one. This is because we don't want to end on a slipped stitch since we're starting each row with a slipped stitch. So here I am, last 3 stitches, slip one, knit one, and then I'm going to knit that last one. You're going to continue on like this for rows 5, 6, and 7. And now I'm ready for the heel decreases. So you can see I have this nice rectangular flap. It's really coming together. Now I'm on row 8, which is the same as the other even rows until we get to the last 3 stitches, where you end with knit 2 together, knit 1. So I've shortened this row just a little. Continue the decrease rows 9 through 12, purling 2 together on the back side and knitting 2 together on the front side according to the pattern directions through row 12. You're going to end with 13 stitches on your needles. Now I've completed rows 1 through 12, and you can see I have a nice cute heel shape. Now I'm ready for my short rows. Slip one, purl, and I'm going to just purl to the last 5 stitches. This is row number 13, the first of my heel short rows. Now you can see I have 5 stitches left, so I'm going to purl 2 together and purl 1. I'm leaving these last 2 stitches on my needle. I'm just going to turn my work, and now I'm going to do my next short row. So I'm just doing the same pattern I've been doing on the front. In this case, it's knit one, slip one, knit one, slip one, all the way across till I have 5 stitches on my needles. And now I'm going to knit 2 together, knit 1. So I'm shortening this row with the knit 2 together, and I'm also not quite completing the row. This is what gives us the nice little poof for the shape of the heel. Adding these little short rows in puts an extra amount of material in the middle and not on the ends of our heel. Now this is short row number 15. I'm doing purl 4, then purl 2 together, and now I'm going to leave these last 3 stitches on my needle and turn my work. Now I'm on short row number 16. Slip 1, knit 1, just continuing the same pattern on the front as we've been doing. I'm actually working all the way across this row, so technically it is not a short row. It's just the last row in our heel. And that's my last row of my heel. You can see how all those slip stitches made a really nice edge. This is going to make it easy for us to pick up and start adding to the rest of our stocking. Here's just a little view of the heel so you can kind of compare and see how you get this nice little heel bump from the short rows that we added in. Now we're going to attach this heel flap by picking up these 6 neat slipped stitches, and we do this by just dipping in to the first one, wrapping our yarn and pulling it through. Dip into the stitch, wrap your yarn and pull it through. Dip in, wrap your yarn around your needle and pull it through. Dip in, wrap your yarn, pull it through. So I'm doing this for the 6 neat slipped stitches. And now I have these 2 colored legs. I'm also going to dip in and pick up 1 stitch there. So I've picked up 7 stitches along the gusset. Now I'm going to place my marker, and now I'm starting my instep. Picking up the colored yarn, starting back the pattern with slip 1, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, going all the way across the instep of the stocking, just the same as we had done for the leg. So in this example, I'm doing the option number 2, where I'm doing slip 1, purl 1s. But if you are doing option number 1 with the slip stitch in the back, with the yarn in the back, you would be doing slip 1, knit 1s. And I'm going to go all the way across here. Put my second stitch marker on, and that's completed my instep, and I'm ready to pick up the gusset. Again, I've got these nice neat slipped stitches, and this time I start by picking up the corner here. I'm just going to kind of pick up 2 legs, one of the white yarn, one of the colored yarn, bring my yarn to the back and knit those 2 legs together. This will just prevent there from being a hole there in the corner. Now I'm going to pick up the nice neat slipped stitches by slipping into each stitch, wrapping my yarn and pulling it through. Now we've picked up all our slip stitches, and we're just going to continue along in pattern with slip 1, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, and we're going to do this all the way across the bottom of the heel. And you could really lose that marker that's in the middle of the heel anytime. I should have probably just dropped it right there. We're not going to need it anymore. Purl 1, slip 1, and if you're doing option number 1, you'd be doing knit 1, slip 1s here. Now I'm finishing up this round with a purl 1, slip 1. Now we're back to knitting in the round with our heel completed. Your round should be 42 stitches now, and then over the next 3 rounds we're going to decrease our knitting by 5 stitches, getting us back to the original 37 stitches. We are going to make 3 decrease rounds now to get our foot back to the original 37 stitch count, starting with round 1 here, decrease round number 1, which is picking up the cream yarn and knitting across the 19 instep stitches. Then we're going to slip the marker, knit 2 together, and continue knitting all the way around until 2 stitches before the next instep marker, which is now the beginning of the round, where you're going to do another knit 2 together, slip the marker, and now you'll be ready for decrease round number 2. At this point now you have 19 instep stitches and 21 heel stitches for a total count of 40. Now for my next decrease round number 2, I'm just going to purl and slip across the instep of my stocking up until I get across there to my second marker. And now after that marker, I'm ready to make another decrease. So this is my first decrease in my second decrease round. I'm doing a purl 2 together. And now I'm just going to continue with my slip and purl across the heel until I get 2 stitches before my beginning of round marker. And then I'll do a purl 2 together. Now I have a count of 38, and I'm just going to need to decrease one more time to get back to my original 37 stitches. This round we just knit all the way around, which I've already done here, and now I'm at the last 2 stitches of my decrease round number 3, where I'm just knitting 2 together. Now we're back to our original 37 stitches, and we're ready to start the first round of our foot. We're going to do this round with a slip 1, purl 1, all the way around. Slip 1, purl 1. And now we're just going to continue this, following rounds 1, 2, 3, and 4 until we've completed about 5 inches past our heel. Okay, I hope your stocking is coming along nice. I now have about 5 inches past my heel. I've ended my knitting with a round 3, and now I'm picking up my cream yarn for my first decrease round, which starts with 2 knit 2 together stitches. So I'm decreasing my knitting by 2 stitches. Then you're just going to knit all the way around the rest of the round. And then we're going to make our last decrease round by just picking up our colored yarn, knitting across the instep as we have been, starting with a slip 1, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, all the way across the instep. And then after you complete the instep, slip that second stitch marker, and now we're going to make a couple decreases with a purl 2 together, and then a slip 1, and then another purl 2 together. And then go back to your slip 1, purl 1, slip 1, purl 1, finishing up the round. And that is the end of your foot. You're ready to be done with the colored yarn, so you can just cut this off now, leaving yourself a little bit of a tail. And now we're in the home stretch. We're ready to start the toe. Go ahead and count your stitches. You should have 33 stitches, and we're ready to start the first round of the toe. We decrease right away with a knit 1, knit 2 together, and then just continue knitting until we're 3 stitches away from the second instep marker. And now when we get to 3 stitches before, we're going to do a couple more decreases. So here we are, 3 stitches before. We're going to do a slip, slip, knit. So you slip the 2 stitches and then you knit those 2 stitches together. And then a knit one, slip the marker, another knit one, and now a knit 2 together. Knit 2 together is a right leaning decrease. The slip, slip, knit was a left leaning decrease. And this is just a nice way to taper our toe. And now we're just going to continue knitting around until we get back to 3 stitches before that first instep marker. Now we're going to do another decrease with a slip, slip, knit. That's a left leaning decrease, then a knit one. And now we're at the beginning of our round, and we've done a round of decreases. We now have 29 stitches on our needles, and we're ready for a regular knit around. A couple tips here. This is a spot where you might want to go ahead and mark this marker with something different. So here I'm just putting a little clip-on marker on it, so I know this is my beginning of round. You also might want to just track which rounds you're on by just checking them off again. This just helps keep you on track because it's easy to forget exactly where you are. Okay, I just want to provide a quick explanation as to what we're doing here. Here's our stitch marker for our beginning of round. Then we're doing our knit 1 stitch. And now here we're doing our knit 2 together, which is a right leaning decrease. Then we're knitting around. We do the same thing in the back there. And here we get to our slip, slip, knit stitch, which is a left leaning decrease, and then our knit 1. So you can see we start our beginning of our round, do our right leaning decrease, and then on the other side we're doing our left leaning decrease. So they kind of sandwich that. And we're doing the same thing halfway around on the back side. Hope that helps. Now you're just going to continue in pattern. Here's a knit 2 together. You'll be alternating between knit rounds and your decrease rounds. Decrease rounds include both the knit 2 togethers and the slip, slip knits. If you want a little help with the slip, slip knits, you can check out my Knitting Whimsy decrease video. Now, at some point as you're knitting, it gets a little tight and tricky to continue knitting in the round when you have fewer and fewer stitches on your needles. So the way I like to handle this is I sort of treat it like I'm knitting just a flat piece of knitting. I pull so many stitches just to the edge of my needle like this, and I'm just going to ignore the rest of the stitches for a while. Then I pull out my needle and I just knit across these stitches. So I freed up some space for my right needle to kind of move around there. So there I'm doing my knit 1, knit 2 together, and I'm just going to knit on down the rest of these. And now when I get to the end, I'm just going to flip it around a little and then just scoot the next stitches onto my needle. And then I'm just going to knit that section, almost as if it's just a flat piece. So now all I'm paying attention to are these stitches. Now I happen to be at the slip, slip, knit section, so I'm just going to slip, slip, and then put my needle in the stitches and knit them together. And now I'll do my knit 1, slip my marker, knit 1, knit 2 together, and just continue knitting down the stitches that I've put on this needle. And now I'm just going to flip it over and get my next stitches ready to be knit. Once you're down to 6 stitches, you're ready to clip off your yarn and thread it with a darning needle. And now I'm just going to move my stitches to the end of my needle, and I'm starting with the next stitch. I'm putting the next stitches that I would have knit onto the end of my needle. And then I'm just going to grab each of them with this darning needle, pulling them off one by one. Here we go. Once you have them all secured, you can just pull the yarn all the way through. And now you're ready to take that end and just dip it in a few places. You just need to do this maybe 2 times, dip into a couple of places. I'm actually being a little random and messy about how I'm doing this here. You could be a little more intentional if you want, but point being, it really doesn't matter. Just go in and out maybe 2 different times and then dip into the inside of your stocking. Pull it all the way through so that you just pull your needle off your yarn inside of your stocking. And if you're not happy with how it looks, you can, 1, you could redo it, but 2, you can just kind of play with it, fiddle around with it a smidge until you have it how you like. And now we're done. We have our toe. You can see the nice neat decreases there on both sides. I still need to weave in this yarn, so I'm just going to grab my colored yarn here, put it on my darning needle, and now I'm just going to poke in here, and I'm just pulling it through here. If I'm being honest again, I might have done this another time or 2 or done a little better tie off, but it's in there. And now my stocking is done. Yay, I have my cuff, my leg with my nice slip stitches on the outside here. We got my heel, my foot, and my toe. I hope you enjoyed knitting this. Here's a few pictures of the stockings that I've done hanging up on my mantle and some of the ways that I decided to accessorize. So I've added some fringe and some tassels. You can get as creative as you want. I bought some of these felted balls on Amazon and attached them to this stocking. I would love to hear and see how you accessorize your stockings. Here's another one where I added some fringe to it. And I also ordered these name tags on Amazon. I'll try to put the link below in case you're interested. I think they're really cute. Now I'm ready to just do some casual knitting. I'm making a few stockings for Christmas gifts, and I'm enjoying just sitting by the fire and admiring the stockings that I made and have hung up in my place. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I'd love it if you'd follow me and give me a thumbs up. Also, I'd love to see your Christmas stockings that you knit. Please post them on Instagram and tag me, Knitting Whimsy, or tag Christmas Confetti Stockings. I hope you enjoy them as much as I have.